I don't know. Turn up here.
Greer got to exhale after this one.
I was gonna say, nerves a little bit.
Space Post Game Show. This has been a day. It's been a roller coaster of a day. I'm Tyler Luca, joined by Greer and Shawnee. We are No Cap Space, and today we are back with another post game show. Oh man, Greer.
My name's really hard to say 3 times in a row, so good job.
Greer.
I didn't think you
I
was
don't know.
that
I
hard.
feel like it gives tongue twister a little bit. Like
Greer.
You say it too many times, and a husky's gonna pop up in the mirror.
Hey,
Candyman, not the Candyman.
A husky popped up in the Elite Eight, though.
Connecticut Candyman.
Barely. Greer.
barely.
UConn beats Duke. Let's start off just with the most recent game. What a disgusting game of basketball. Frankly, like let's just call it how it is. That game was awful.
Kevin McGuff, you will pay for your sins. What did you just subject us to?
Nobody is more sick than Ohio State, and especially Cody McMahon. I'm looking at all my teammates like y'all couldn't do anything. I put up 27. Y'all couldn't do anything. Oh my God! But Greer, take us just kind of through the emotions here of being on the UConn side of this. Obviously, Duke, you guys play fantastic defense early on in this. Like, I mean, there's still positives to take away from this game, but
on y'all and Duke.
Yes. So break it down for us. Just kind of those last couple of minutes of this game. Duke goes on the run, which 8 points, I think, is what it was, which was like 30 in this game.
Our largest lead was 20, I believe.
Yes.
2022, something like that in there. But I mean, Duke was anemic. There was they just were. I mean, not that they're like, gangbusters on offense anyway, but like on a night where, I mean, they just couldn't buy a bucket. Going into halftime, they had 20 points.
Yes, that sounds about right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, amazing defense on Reagan Richardson, who had been playing
back-to-back 25-plus point games from Reagan. Yep.
Yes, early in the tournament. So, shout out to our guard for just keying in and making the night super tough on her, and then by extension the rest of the Duke team. I mean, yeah, we take the defense with us, but there's some things that we absolutely need to clean up, and that will not fly against a team as savvy as USC. But I mean, come on, this is what we wanted, right? I was this is how my bracket was shaping up. If I want my Huskies to go to Cleveland, the road goes through LA, period, and it's through USC, and they're the number 1 seed in the region, so we got to take care of business. I'm excited for the opportunity. I think Aaliyah in the foul trouble, but the one, she was able to hit some outside shots tonight, which was key, and she hit them in key moments. And I thought KK really had an advantage penetrating, but we didn't. She got swatted some of the time.
Yeah, but she was getting to the rim a lot.
Yeah, know, but all in all, like, it's surviving advance. You don't get any. There's no style points. You know what I'm saying? So we did what we needed to do, and we're moving on. And we're playing Monday, and Duke is headed back to Cameron.
Oh, okay. Wow. Whoa. Is there beef? Is this a new rivalry? Like what?
Nah, no. Come on, rival. Connecticut rival. Like who?
Oh, here we go.
Don't saved off freshman Reagan, and now you talking tough. Okay.
No, I mean, we play freshmen too. Ice got extended minutes there because Aaliyah was in foul trouble. She wasn't a 0, or at least she was a 0. She wasn't a negative.
2 points.
Yeah.
So, 2 points.
Ashlyn did not have her best game after also starting the tournament super hot. But
0 points from Ashlyn.
Yeah, we're surviving, and we relied on our seniors, which is what you're supposed to be able to do at this time of year.
Yeah, this was kind of like a comeback down to earth type game for both teams. So you saw like their ugliest against each other. Yeah. So I mean, Yeah, very ugly, because. But I mean, like you said, like this is the time where you dig deep and you figure it out. If you want to get to Cleveland, you got to figure it out. So they scared the hoes, but they figured it out.
It's me. I'm hose.
I'm frightened.
Like that was the most Duke thing to possibly do. Decide to turn it up at the very end and make it interesting. Like y'all couldn't have done that in the third quarter.
Like an hour ago. Yeah. Hello.
Because there was genuinely a point I tweeted like Duke and Paige were battling for the same amount of points before Duke went on their run. Like there was genuinely a point where Paige, I don't know if she ever topped Duke, but I know at least tied Duke. I think it was at 20 when both Duke and Paige had 20. Like it was, Jesus, it was disgusting. Frankly, that was indeed one of the games of basketball in history, and I don't really ever want to think about it again. And I don't think either of these teams are going to want to either. Like if you're UConn, like you take away the defense, like you're very happy with the defense. And like you said, Griff stopping Reagan Richardson, that has just been absolutely on fire throughout the beginning of this tournament. And outside of that, I'm not taking anything else with me.
Even everything else. Yep.
Yeah. That is the only thing that I take with me in this. But yeah, not It was.
I mean, it was an answer for a primetime game. Like that was very disappointing. Straight up.
No, that should have been the first game of the day.
Yeah.
Like, get that out the way, and then we could all like go on about our day and have other better memories to fill.
Yeah, it's like they really humbled women's basketball fans, and it's like I'll tell you right now, for everyone that says about things about the way that Caitlin Clark plays, this is the game that you wanted. Congratulations.
Oh no. Okay. All right, man.
All right, but going on to
we're not even at the controversial part of the show. What are you doing?
Sorry, just warming up. Got to get warmed back up. It's been a while since that first game, but we're gonna that's the main event of this show. So let's talk about the team that UConn is gonna be playing in the Elite Eight, USC. They beat Baylor. This one went down to the wire though. Baylor did not go down without a fight by any means in this game. Frankly, surprised me. I admittedly have been lower on Baylor throughout this season than where rankings had put them. Like that's just my own personal opinion on.
Same. I'm not gonna leave you out there on the
island. So like my Big 12 agenda, frankly, left Baylor out throughout this season, and they proved me wrong in that sense. I thought that this would be not a blowout by any means, but a comfortable win. For USC in this game, but it felt like USC kind of went back to their old ways a little bit in the sense of like Juju gets a ton of shots off and gets 30 points, but not in the most efficient manner that we've kind of become a little bit more accustomed to with her in recent times. And also the others around Juju weren't as involved in this game as they have been. Mackenzie Forbes puts up 14 points, and Rhea Marshall gets a double-double, which we're accustomed to with her. She's been a double-double machine this entire season, but nobody else gets into double figures outside of that, which isn't like uncommon for USC. It just felt more so like early season USC than it did Pac-12 tournament USC in that sense. But we're gonna move on. Like it was a great win. Obviously, Juju, I know Rhea had a free throw at the end, but before that, Juju had like the last 9 points for USC.
Yeah, no, she was cooking.
Ice cold.
Oh my God.
Ice cold. Like and we've been talking about it all season with Juju, especially on the playbacks as we've been watching her do this. There's seemingly no ceiling to Juju from right now. Like there's nothing that like
he's already getting maybe the most free throw attempts of any player in D1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still officiated poorly.
Yeah.
There are still at least maybe 6 more times she's shooting free throws every single game.
I remember that at the Pac-12 tournament, Lindsay brought that up because and her reasoning for that was because Juju is kind of like just frankly stronger than maybe you might give her credit for. And she doesn't fall when she takes the contact is what Lindsay said at the Pac-12 tournament. Can't remember which game it was after, but I remember her talking about how like when Juju went down with some of the injuries that they're hoping that whistle will kind of come with time. So you're not seeing that as often with her on the ground as much and having to come off the floor. But so you're completely spot on with the fact that there's more whistles to come and it's not bad officiating. It's just how Juju there's no how is you going to stop her? Like, and that's just how the defense is doing. But like I said, I mean, this game felt more like early season. But to your point, 12 of 13 from the free throw line from Juju, and a lot of those came towards the end of the game with the intentional fouls and everything from Baylor. But ice in her veins. There has yet to be a moment too big for Juju. Struggled in the Pac-12 championship game, but even then, she was still making the right reads. And in that game, I didn't like. It was just more so a shooting night that just wasn't her night than a moment too big. So I just continue to be impressed.
Legend of Juju.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Monday. Like we get, I mean, two of the people to put up the most memorable freshman campaigns that women's college basketball probably ever seen. Or definitely seen in the last, like let's say 25 years. And I understand Caitlin also had an amazing freshman season.
Thank you. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Who left with the hardware? You know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's before the shift in media, but
she's the Hannah to the Juju. I it's fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. I mean, I'm super excited for Monday.
Yeah.
We had Lindsay Gottlieb on earlier this season with us, and he definitely gave us like a little Coach Auriemma story, right? A little touch. And so now to get to see them coach against each other for a right to play in the Final Four, I'm just excited and bringing back a women's college basketball dynasty in USC to play, the dynasty. And
they've never been good at the same time.
Yeah. So
soon as USC dropped off, UConn came to be. So this is the first time that these two programs have really crossed paths as elite programs at the same time. And neither of these programs are going anywhere anytime soon either. So it's like we're kind of seeing this new era of old eras in a way. And it's super dope. Like this has every making.
Everything old is new again. That's a proverb, Tyler. Write it down.
Oh, I guess. I don't know. Old is old, but
okay.
But this has every making of a heavyweight matchup. Like between two programs, between two superstars, between two fantastic coaches. Like this is what this point of the tournament should be. And with the amount of talent across the board in this tournament, we've now reached the point where, and I mean, really, it's kind of been, but now we've really reached a point where there's all hits, no misses with these matchups going forward. There's all hits.
Isn't it 1-3 in every single region?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. 1-3 in every region. You're absolutely right. So that's going to be, I'm excited. Like this is, I mean, I think everyone, like I picked Ohio State to be in this matchup, but like I wanted Paige versus Juju, like that, like just from a fan perspective and what I wanted to see, Paige versus Juju is box office across the board. So I'm excited.
But like, bro, imagine if she makes it to the title game. She will have gone through Drea Edwards. She'll have gone through Paige, and possibly either Caitlin or Flage. Like the legend of Juju continues to grow, man. And I'm so excited to watch this. It's so much fun.
Like think about like. And I to your point with that, across the board, the legacy building that we're about to see over the next day, and then going into the Final Four, one of Juju or Paige is going to be taking their team to a Final Four. One of Angel or Caitlin is going to be taking their team back to the Final Four. We might see an Oregon State team that wasn't even here last year go to the Final Four. Or
I beg your pardon.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I
Or
know.
South Carolina team continue the dominance of an undefeated season, and then NC State and Texas both haven't been here in a minute. So like everything about this, and then you have Madison Booker on that team too, kind of that same point as Juju. Every game from here on out is a legacy game. You want to be remembered on campus? Go hoop in these games, and we just get to sit back and watch and talk about it. I can't believe this is my life.
What a time to be alive!
I can't believe this is my life. Man, it's women's. The talent across the board. It's beautiful. I could talk about it forever. But let's kind of dive into the next game. I just mentioned it there. The Iowa and Colorado game. This one was frankly smooth sailing for Iowa in a game that coming off the West Virginia game where it was a lot more difficult, frankly. Caitlin Clark.
Fighting Kellogg's, Yeah,
the Fighting Kellogg's. Yeah, we needed J.R. Payne. Send them packing, and then they would have came out ready to hoop. But I mean, Caitlin in this game, like this was if you want to just get if one game and be like, here, why are you excited about Caitlin Clark? You can show them this game. The passing, the shooting, getting both inside and out. Like, come on, bro. Surgical.
And see, that's the thing, because when Jalen came on the show the other night, she was talking about that. Like, everybody kind of keys in on her as a shooter and just a shooter, but like, she's got a solid handle. She is an amazing passer. And I think people kind of, in the process of trying to shrink the disparity in coverage between, the races in the media, they've started to reduce her to just a shooter. And it's like her offensive game is pretty multifaceted, and it's very exciting to watch, like whether she's taking the shots or not. Because I think like Shanae said that on their post game show that like she accounted for like 70% of the points.
It was something like that. Yeah.
And like either passing or scoring. So it's like she is an offensive wizard, and everything Jalen was saying like that they were keying in, like she did it. So the scout was
she's giving me shades of one of your faves.
Which one?
James Harden.
Okay.
No, brother.
That's enough.
But I do think that's
her best work is not done in January, so I don't even know why you would make that comparison.
We're going blow for blow right now.
I do to the point though. Next week. Caitlin has. Let me get y'all back on track, man. Caitlin has. She ended the game with 29 points and 15 assists. She had like a double-double. Like it was early in the game. I forget exactly when, but it was early. She ended the first quarter with like 6 assists already. Every starter was in double figures for Iowa in this game, like just to a point of obviously like a lot of that has to do with Caitlin's passing and being able to drive and kick, which I thought she did a fantastic job of today.
But that's another thing Jalen said. She was like, they reduce it to just like
Caitlin. And
shout out to my Scorpio brother, but Caitlin Clark and the Temptations. And, they have other viable pieces, and she showed that tonight by facilitating and getting them involved early. And I think that is a scarier Iowa team when, she's making sure, like, your Kate Martins and Stokey is getting her, 3 catches for 149 yards in the first half, like, first, man.
The entire team, I thought, they put up 87 points.
Yep.
This is the most fluid that they looked on offense in weeks, probably since, like, sometime in the Big Ten tournament, right? So
that feels right. Yeah.
And they just were humming.
Yeah.
At no point was Colorado really able to provide resistance. You know what I mean? Everything that they wanted to run, they got. Falter was like perfect from the field as well. Had some big and ones, I think. And like when that's happening, come on, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like it's. I mean, Caitlin goes 13 of 22 while also putting up 15 assists. Like, that's just one of the best doing it. Like, there's like it's like at that point, like you kind of throw your hands up. But shout out to Jalen. Just so much love for Jalen across the board.
Your comments in their post game as well about. Her career at Colorado, back-to-back Sweet 16s. 3 years ago, nobody was talking about Jalen Sherrod.
Or Colorado. She put Colorado on the map. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
She was the first one.
First one. but actually, And the thing is, and I posted this clip in the quote tweet to that, but from our interview, we asked her, is like, okay, there's going to be a lot of new eyes on Colorado and you. What do you want them to leave this game with? And for her, she said that basically, in paraphrasing, that she wants everyone leaving knowing that she worked the hardest on the court. And I can't imagine there's many games if you go across her 5-year period where she got in and you can't say that because that's just what Jalen Sherrod does. So much love to Jalen, and she put Colorado on the map, a foundational piece. But let's move on to the superstar studded matchup, to the team that Iowa will now be facing in the Elite Eight, the rematch that both everybody wanted and didn't want. LSU beats UCLA, and now we are back here. We have Iowa versus LSU, but let's get into this game first. Flau'jae Johnson. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Masterclass.
Arrived. Ever since postseason play, this has been the best Flau'jae that we've seen. And I think honestly, I feel like I sometimes forget that she's just a sophomore, just like because it feels like she's been in the limelight so much.
Oh, I don't, because I saw the jump from last year. Like last year, like we were concerned about the sophomore slump, or at least I was, because that like typically happens to insanely talented, highly touted freshmen.
Yep.
They get the lights are a little brighter now. They have that expectation placed on them, and it weighs on them a little heavier. And she's like, "Cool, let's do it."
Yeah.
So I tweeted this. I said, put her in the championship game and just let whatever team wins join her, because she's stamped her ticket, man. Yeah. She is hooping.
Yeah, like if we were to do like an all tournament team,
she's on right now.
She's on there right now. She has been absolutely
potential MVP.
Yeah, genuinely, like she has been absolutely incredible both ways. I mean, coming through there were several broken possessions where it feels like she just made something happen for LSU.
On offense and defense.
Yes. Like, I mean, genuine two-way superstar in this game. And a game that has so many big names like this one, Flau'jae Johnson was the one that stuck out. And, I mean, like I said, like it was just a complete masterclass across the board both ways. I do think that the thing that I want to hit on the most is on the UCLA side. Because stop me if you heard this yesterday. Give the 6'7" player the ball when they're open. This sounds like an incredible.
And if she's not open, make her open.
Yes.
Like, figure out how to get her open, bro. Like, this made me so mad because you have it on the graphic. You were getting there, but I just got so upset that I had to interject.
Go ahead.
That 3-point, bless London's heart, but like, she was like 1 of 8 from 3 to start, and she was like, I'm going to persevere. And it's like, for what?
Ended the game 4 of 14, had those back-to-back ones later in the game. But that's a whole lot of threes. Like, shoot. I think Drea said, like, shooter, stop shooting at halftime. Like, it was like, and the thing is that a lot of those threes early in the game came from Lauren Betts getting a touch and then passing out because her playmaking was on point today.
It was.
The shots just weren't falling early on in this game. And then they just like decided to go to the shots instead of Lauren when that was the case. And that just made zero sense to me across the board.
Yeah. I've never seen Betts play with so much fire and passion. The way
she was fantastic.
And she was incredible. I think she showed why, she was the number 1 player in her class coming out last year because the potential is there, but it was, I got to name names. I can't leave it on the playground. It was Kiki Rice and Charisma Osborne, who, at of this season have been incredible for UCLA, but just tonight laid massive eggs when Lauren Betts and Jaquez needed y'all.
Yeah, Jaquez.
Because that's the thing, like, Kiki, I think, is now a victim of the sophomore slump. That's who I think is hitting it right now. So I think she'll come back better. She just has, some stuff to work on. And like in terms of like her feel for the game and when to take it, when not to take it, when to facilitate and what have you. But like, Charisma, I was like, sis, you came back an extra year for this. Yeah. This is year 5. Like we shouldn't be doing some of the stuff we're doing here. They needed her. That's who they needed.
And and that's what we had said last game when Charisma went against Creighton when that game was close. We looked at that and it's like Charisma, you has to give more. Just production-wise. Today she gives, I forget exactly what she had in the Creighton game, but it feels pretty similar to this: 8 points, 4 assists.
That's unacceptable.
Shooting. Like that's just
I'm sorry, that's just not good. At year 5,
tough way to end your career for sure. But I also want to point out, like, your daughter, Shawnee, didn't have a great night shooting.
So
and then. Incredible.
That's not year 5.
1 of 8. 1 of 8.
Incredible play on defense, though.
Hey, that's what. Look, when I say HBL turned into Elena Beard, like it's over. It's over. Look, she got that steal. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
we clamping up.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I have the box score over here, and it just hit me. Lauren Betts had 9 shots. And that's like she had 11 free throws. So like there's that. But
She had 14 points.
Yeah,
that's not good.
That's unacceptable, frankly. Like 38 minutes, 9 shot attempts.
There was like moments, a couple of moments where Corey's on the sideline freaking out.
Yes, telling them.
Saying like, pass her the ball.
Yeah, I think Trey K posted a clip on Twitter where she was telling the guards, like, give
you could read her lips, give the ball.
And it's just, I obviously, like, we're on the outside looking in on this, but it just felt like there were so many opportunities, like clear as day opportunities to get Bet to touch. It wasn't even necessarily about the shot attempts as much as it was just getting her a touch with the way that her playmaking was going. Right. Like, it wasn't even like, okay, you have to get her a shot. Now, obviously,
no, because there was that one,
She had Angel Reese in foul trouble.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And then there was that one move where she turned and went up with the left hand.
Yeah.
I was like, no, she
was acting different. She was acting different today.
She was in her bag. So I was like, you not only have to give her a touch, but you have to give her space because she's got post moves, folks. In a world where that's constantly our critique, she has post moves and she can make stuff happen. So like when they said get her the ball, move.
Yeah.
Like let her work.
And another constant critique is entry passes, which were
oh my gosh
today. There were so many where they try and bounce pass it or go low, and I saw Lauren in the game just hi. She literally like, please,
hey,
please here. Like,
but it's also like common sense. If they're in a zone and they're like collapsing on her, like why would you?
It feels like basketball common sense. And
yes, especially at year 5.
Yes, so it's a frustrating game to look back on from the UCLA perspective because it just feels so winnable, frankly. Like you had the recipe and you decided to step out the kitchen. Like you were in there cooking. And you were like,
let's go to the garage.
Yeah. Come on. Like that's what's so frustrating to me with that is just you went away from what was working. And
I will say, like, it's extra frustrating because LSU didn't look great today. Outside of Flage, that team is not really, you got Poa imitating Jenna Johnson. That's kind of, I don't know. I'm learning that I only like when Jenna Johnson does it. Like, it's super annoying, so I can only, like, tolerate it in one specific annoying entity. And that Jenna Johnson is it for me. So it's like you got her doing that. Angel's got to stay out of foul trouble. Like, there's really no reason because a lot of her fouls are just silly. And for you to be in year 4, that stuff shouldn't be happening either. Because at the end of the day, Del Rosario, she's going to grow from it, but she's gotten eaten alive. Yeah. Camilla tore her up. Lauren tore her up. Like, every time she goes up against a premier big, she gets worked. And that's mostly youth. So, I mean, you got to, like, give your team a chance and stay in the game because, like, she running over to the bench before they even, like, make the official foul call because she knows. And it's just, like, if you know better, do better. So she's got to figure that out or LSU is in trouble.
Yeah, that's I mean, I guess it's just frustrating from that perspective. But we do get the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, luckily this game didn't end at the final buzzer. We got a whole bunch of extracurriculars in the press conferences.
Yeah. So
no. Handshake lines.
Let's back up.
Handshake lines.
No. Angel's last foul. Angel's last foul.
Technically start there. Yes.
Yeah, she fouled out. She had some words for the bench or for the ref or for whomever was in that general vicinity on her way back to the bench, and then it spills over into the handshake line, like you said.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, we never got any comment. I think if I saw correctly on Twitter, Angel was asked about it and decided not to comment on the handshake line. So that is just kind of now up to. That's just kind of what it is. What we saw on TV, frankly, that's just kind of it.
Okay, just in an effort to like stay level headed in the madness, like everybody flipped out about the Cameron Brink clip when she fouled out and was like "F you" to the ref or whatever, and then I was just like, okay, so you can see here, like they're not calling technicals on people yelling at benches on the way back. So can we like calm down for a little bit and like stop like. I'm not saying things don't exist, but y'all don't have to make up racism. It's there. It's always going to be there. Like, it's gonna come to us. I promise you. We will have the opportunities to fight racism every single day of our lives. You don't have to go looking for it. So to like make those two things an issue, and today, like, Angel very blatantly said stuff to people on the way out and nothing happened. Okay, so just relax a little on like the clips. Just relax a little.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because it seemed like it was a UCLA assistant coach that was the one, and so obviously we have no insight as to who started or like, so we're not saying anything of that nature. But
I know Corey was tight. She wanted that tech.
Yeah, Corey was. Yeah,
Corey was hot.
Corey wanted it. So I don't know what was said. Obviously it incited a reaction from Corey. But we also don't know what started that because, like I said, obviously it was an assistant coach. It looked like in the handshake line that Angel told to presumably reading lips, like allegedly, watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth.
I'm trying to, like I said, none of this. We don't know any of this as like we're just seeing. We're talking about what we're seeing here.
And she was telling everybody, watch your mouth. That's actually, I want a montage of her like telling everybody, watch your mouth. Because that's hilarious to me.
And I mean, frankly, she keeps winning.
The other version of it is who was you talking to?
Yeah, I think that was.
What you talking about?
Yeah. But as you aforementioned, Shawnee, the everything didn't stop. We had the press conference as well with an LA Times piece.
That we didn't even know about until people brought it. Like, that was my favorite part. That article would have sank into the abyss until somebody was like, this is disgusting. And it's like, it's a tricky situation. I get it, because you want to call it out. You want to call this person to the carpet. But, you know, sometimes it's like, maybe you could ignore it and it would go away. Because, like, I clicked on it now to see what it said. So he kind of won. Like, he got our clicks. So I don't have the answers. I'll say that. It's a sticky situation in terms of that, because the article was weird. Like, he's like,
incredibly,
UCLA is America's sweetheart and LSU is the dirty debutantes. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it was a lot of crazy ass words.
References and ways to reference it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to back up to the UCLA is America's team. First off,
lie.
Or
Which America
doesn't think so, A.
Yeah, that's Talia dropping down like Sting, like.
And then B, like, they don't even win the Battle of Los Angeles. So how are they?
Oof.
How are they America's team? Like, words mean things, even in the LA Times. And that was just wrong. And it like
that's
damn, that one hurt me, and I ain't even got anything to do with it. That ain't my battle. But I mean.
Yeah, and it was like, there's some nuance to this conversation, because it's like, if you wrote this about like Indiana versus LSU or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lily white team. UCLA is not. So it's like, it's sticky trying to like figure out why this column was wrong. You just.
Kim said it was sexism.
Yes, that is what. Yeah, Kim Mulkey claims sexism for this article, which I didn't like. I felt more racist than sexist, but like, I don't know. That's kind of just
like the dirty debutante thing is kind of, I guess, regionalist. I don't know. Like, he was kind of leaning into the.
Google it. I haven't. I don't really want to.
Yeah, I don't.
Dirty just implies like images I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Like, a debutante is somebody that has been like, that's being introduced to high society for the first time. So a dirty debutante is like, yeah, you here, but like, you ain't really supposed to be here.
You still got like the must on you from.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, old money versus new money, basically what he's trying to say.
Everything about it felt so, and like, not that he was hiding it.
These are both public institutions. What is
it just felt so incredibly loaded, like across the board, and weird, and
it's like. Ultimately, you shouldn't be saying these things about 18 to 21-year-old kids. That's where I'm at with it. Like, don't pit them against each other in that fashion. Now, if you want to say Corey Close is America's darling, yeah, hello, the dirty debutante here, versus, like, you know, you do that. Like, it would still be weird, but like, them grown women, so they could like duke it out in the press conference physically if they wanted to. But like, you know. Don't bring kids in.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Which is what Mulkey was saying in the press conference. Like, frankly, like, Mulkey, I felt was relatively spot on with what she was saying, in the sense of like not talking about the kids. And Ooh, that. Ooh.
Hey,
The worst person makes a great
yeah,
point.
like she. I feel like she was pretty spot
foot
on.
was solidly planted.
Oh, she dream shaking. She dream shaking. One thing Moki gonna do is know how to pivot. She's smooth with gliding. Like, oh my god, she ice skating across the newsway. Is crazy.
But so here's my thing with that when she was like, this is sexist and I won't stand for it, because I am old enough to shut the fuck up, Tyler. But I'm old enough to remember when a couple years ago in the tournament when Muffet McGraw was, on her female empowerment tip, and they asked Moki about it. Remember, she was like, well, no, what if my son wants a job? Like, I can't go full in on this feminism thing. And now, like, fast forward to today where it's like, yeah, I have to defend these young women. It's like, you should have been doing this consistently when we've been telling you, like, every step of the way, like, stop being horrible and get on board with what's going on.
Yeah. COVID testing, you said it was for sissies. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, it's just the absolute worst messenger possible for this.
Yes, because you were just saying, like, I bet you won't hit Angel Reese. Now it's like, oh, I have to protect her with my life. Like, girl.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, frankly, the track record doesn't back up the point that she, like, if you take that point, this conference, and this is it. If this was your first time ever hearing from Kim Mulkey, you'd be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you say that about track record, too, because Corey Close retweeted that article.
Yes, Evan had to put out a whole
apology
statement
where she says, like, actually, I hope that my track record in this game lets you know that that's not really who I am. And I believe it, because, like, Corey is.
But see, the funniest thing about that, she was like, hey, I just read the headline. I didn't even read the article. And I was like, she just like me sometimes.
Yep.
But, like, even with that situation, the headline was still, like, America's Sweethearts versus, like, it still was a little.
The gist of it from the headline, like from what you saw on Twitter, but the statement, a smaller part of the larger statement, what Greer is referencing is, I only want to grow our game and have a positive impact on the people who come together because of basketball. I hope that I have proven over time with my behaviors and choices that this was an isolated mistake and not the intention of my heart. My sincerest apologies for anything that communicated otherwise. So that's how she ended the statement. It was part of the larger statement that she posted. And
I really want to believe that. I truly do. But it's just like that headline was so tied to the whole article. Like, he did a really good job of telling you, like, this is what this is about to be about. That, like, for you to even see the headline and think it's about growing the game instead of, like, creating discourse. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I think, frankly, that everyone in the women's basketball space, as we see more content being poured into it, there has to be a level of media literacy, frankly, that we're going to have to start imploring when we see these types of pieces, because now they're just, the amount of them are just going to be growing now as more people are getting into it. And frankly,
and this is like you have to understand that, women's sports, women's basketball in particular is like such an underserved community that we read everything so closely. Like the people who really care about this are paying attention in a way that casuals are not ready for. You know what I'm saying? So tread lightly.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I think that's where there's just going to have to be an adjustment to this new level of attention and new level of coverage, because there's going to be people that coming in and that might have not ever.
Oh yeah, we see everybody coming in. This is, right? The men, like, who even cares at this stage, right? Like, who even cares about the men's tournament? So
UConn's dominance is ruining men's basketball.
I'm super curious, like, what the ratings will be for the games on Monday night.
Oh man,
hate that they're off the table instead of
being on ESPN, rather, because the championship game that drew 9.9 last year was on ABC. So that's where, like, the kind of handicap, I guess, for the record. But when it comes to interest, and especially these two games back to back, like, I can't imagine that there's ever really been a more intriguing night for the general public with as many eyes wanting to watch as this one.
And it's, like, super interesting because there's and then there's another wrinkle to this conversation, because LSU doesn't, and this has been my issue with them for the last 2 years now. They don't seem to know what they want their image to be, because like after all of this, Angel is like posting pictures of like milk and cookies and hot sauce and like leaning into it, and she's in the same presser
referencing the article. Yes.
Yeah, and she's in the same press conference saying like, yeah, we're the villains. And it's like, while Moki is turning around saying like, don't call this team villains, don't villainize them and characterize them in that way. So I'm kind of like, y'all started off the season with free smoke tour now, and you're dancing in everybody's faces and doing all this kind of stuff. But like, if you're gonna do that, lean all the way into it. And like, we got to figure something out, because it gets kind of hypocritical sometimes when it's like, now 1 minute you're scolding people, and then the next minute you're like NWO. Like, if we're gonna be wrestlers, I love it. Yeah, you know what? Let's come in with this. Yeah, we're here to ruin women's basketball. This is what we came to do.
Spray painting all the titles and everything.
Exactly. So I'm with it if that's what you're trying to do, but it's like, it's a constant identity crisis to me. And like, going into this Iowa game with you saying like, we're the villain, with you saying like, yeah, we're the hot sauce to the milk and cookies and stuff like that, and kind of leaning into that, racists are going to do what racists are going to do. So we're already going to have to deal with that, battle that, call that out. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, one racist might be like, well, I thought it was okay to call you horrible things because you did it. And it's just like, here we go. So I'm not looking forward to this matchup, because there's no nuance. There's no like rationality goes out the window, and it's very weird. Like, nobody can be normal talking about these two teams. Yeah. Nobody.
Except us, but yeah.
Yeah. So tune in to No Cat Space, where we tell you everything, within the lines of this conversation, because it's so weird, and we're still here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and we kind of talked about it before the show, like how the conversation next year is going to shift when we move away from LSU Iowa, because obviously I think everyone, the entirety of the season, yes, South Carolina has been dominating. Yes, we've had all different types of storylines, but ultimately everyone had been waiting for this, and now we're here. So these next 48 hours, give or take 48 hours, like, is going to be chaotic. Like I tweeted out, I got to get my groceries.
I'm going to Easter Sunday service. Yeah, I'm going to eat a nice ham tomorrow night. I am focused on the Lord and my baby chickens against Oregon State. Ain't no way.
Which is going to be a very, very fun game. And we are going to be here tomorrow to be doing this exact same thing, talking about all the games. We're with you every day with this tournament. We are in the thick of it now. We are it's showtime now. It's every team here is elite, and they're elite for a reason. They are playing elite basketball. Besides, UConn a little shaky, but
Where is Oklahoma?
Same place we've been since Courtney Paris left. Well, we're on the up. We're getting closer.
So in the spirit of unity, I would just like to say, like, yes, the Pac-12 has let me down.
No, listen, they still got two teams alive.
No, I had UCLA and Stanford in my Final Four. Remember? Okay. So I'm cooked.
And you had USC there. You had three teams, right? Like, obviously, USC still in it, but like you.
Yeah. So USC never let me down.
Yeah. Go Juju's.
But I mean, shout out to the Pac-12. They still got two teams.
They do.
Alive, right?
They do.
Let's see.
Just not the two I picked.
It'll be the SEC has two.
The same two that was carrying the whole year.
Yeah, the two we expected. No surprises. Big Ten has one.
And honestly, it doesn't shock me that USC and Oregon State are the two that made it out of the Pac-12. Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No. It shocks me because, like we said, Stanford had Stanford didn't have to go out like that.
I was surprised by Stanford. But we also, I'm not surprised by why. I'm surprised they did. I thought they would lose to Texas. Like, that's what I had picked in my bracket. But
get out of here. I get it, but get out of here.
But no, these next matchups, like I said, it's hit after hit after hit from here on out. So I'm very excited. And
an abundance of riches.
Yes, so we will be here tomorrow, right after both games. They're early games tomorrow, so we'll be getting done a little bit early. We've been up
I'm
late.
getting
We've been
enjoy
playing
that
some
ham.
hours.
Yeah, so we can get some Monday sooner.
I know.
Thank God.
Yes. Yes. So we will be here again after those games, and then we will be here on Monday to wrap up whatever the hell goes down in these two blockbuster matchups. Whatever the hell goes down, we will be here to talk about it. So make sure that you guys stay tapped in here with the No Cap Space. Like and subscribe so you can be notified whenever we go live. Follow us on Twitter so you can get those notifications as well, so you can just be in the loop everywhere. The Substack, we do print articles, we do interviews, we do podcasts across the board. No Cap Space is the place to be for your March Madness coverage, and we're in the thick of it now. It's time to heat it up. So I'm very excited to see how the rest of this way goes, and I'm excited to have everyone join us to do exactly that. So same place tomorrow after both games. We'll be here right at the conclusion of the second game, whichever one that is, and we will see y'all next time.